Alrighty, welcome back to the conclusion. Round 2 back 9 coverage of the 2020 Clash of the Canyons, presented by NYC Productions, and that coverage is presented by Link Disc Golf, Dellwood Disc Golf, Discmania, Unstable Disc Golf Gear, Unstable Discourse Podcast, and Canapro's Box. I'm Brian Earhart again, Tristan Tanner.
It's been an exciting round.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of birdies, especially from Ezra. He's pulled to a 4-stroke lead after the front 9.
Ezra is absolutely on a heater. We have players trailing behind him, trying to catch him. And on the tight dog leg with the drop-off. Oh, my gosh.
He parks it.
What?
That's a beat-up FD3
Wow.
that he throws a ton. And, yeah.
It's such a subtle hyzer, too, so it's interesting that he threw a FD3, but it seems like it was seasoned a little bit.
Definitely.
Tom kind of saws his off a little bit.
This is Nico with a stiletto. Very overstable disc.
And even the flex shot still skips down the hill. That's why it was so impressive for him to put his disc so close to the basket, because you can't just throw a standard hyzer on this hole.
A little early from Kyle there.
And that drop-off left is a
Brutal.
little tricky. Yeah, definitely brutal.
And he just throws that Tiger Warrior.
That's an awesome up.
So good at that shot. Tom thought he hit a tree on that one, like right in front of him. So right out of his hand. He's like, oh no. But it was fine.
Tom, not one to normally show too much emotion on the course. Nico gets up for his 3.
Tom cleaning up a par, and Ezra is going to tap in his birdie. That's a great birdie to get.
It's one of the hardest par 3s in the course.
Yeah.
And probably one of the biggest potential for danger on the course as well.
Definitely.
Ooh. Who is that man in the background? Wow.
Wow. Handsome.
Another birdie from Ezra. He moves to 16 under par, and the rest of the card just could not capitalize. Mm-hmm. Moving into a wooded par 4. This one, really, you just have to put the shot straight, hit the gap. There is a Mando left of this tree on the right side.
A little early. That might have been fortunate to hit that tree.
As you can see, that tree with the green wrap around it is the one you have to miss. And that's not a bad place to be. Still a little bit far back. You want to almost get to the elbow to have a decent upshot to the basket.
Nico maybe trying to get a little more aggressive, throwing the forehand. Unfortunately, catches a little bit. We saw him throw that putter backhand yesterday and maybe trying to make up some strokes.
Okay.
That looks beautiful.
That was a perfect shot from Kyle. He's going to have a pretty simple upshot to the basket there. Probably another chip shot sidearm.
Yeah, or that little Tiger Warrior backhand,
Yeah.
probably.
And Ezra's just going to have to settle for an up and down for par.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Was he going cut roller there?
I couldn't really tell.
Looked like he might have been trying to lay that one down on a steep roller angle. Tom, I think he's going with a Hellfire here from DGA. It's one of his favorite discs to throw.
Nice. Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Checks it up perfectly. Lands just before the hill.
And there is that Tiger Warrior.
Sit. A little long, but that's definitely a makeable putt.
Oh, yeah. Smart play there from Ezra. Playing this well, you could potentially have the desire to run the basket on that one.
Definitely.
But with the OB to the left, not something you'll want to do. Nico gets up there for his drop in.
This is definitely... This is a kind of a weird hole because it feels like you should 3 it every time.
Yes.
But Yeah, 4 feels like bogey, 2 feels like eagle.
Yeah, there's a long pin up top that's
Okay.
close, or a long tee pad up top closer to the tee pad they just played before, but due to safety reasons, they didn't want to play that hole.
Gotcha.
We have Tom taking a birdie here. I think we had Kyle. Did Kyle take that birdie as well?
Yep, Kyle took a birdie, and Nico and Ezra with pars.
Tom going zone here.
A bit of an ace run.
I gave him a little wind advice halfway through the round, and I
Nice.
think he did take it from me. There was a little bit of a head cross pushing that you couldn't
interesting.
quite feel off the tee. So he opted for something a little bit more overstable to kind of challenge that crosswind, and Kyle just throws a pipe dream.
Wow, beautiful shot.
Such a soft lander.
I believe that's an MD4. Ezra with a P2. Oh, that's just beautiful. Just beautiful.
You can just tell that he's very synced up right now. It just looks like you know exactly where the disc is going when it's coming out of his hand.
Definitely.
And Nico kind of saws that one off a little bit, yanks it right. He's been giving himself a lot of these. There it is.
Great putt. Like we said on the first round, this is one you want to get.
Yes, this is one that definitely feels like you're losing strokes if you don't get it. Tom from about 28.
Confident.
Super smooth.
Kyle really sticks to his routine.
He does.
He goes through the motions and makes sure he's committing on every
He's
single
one of the
putt.
more cerebral players that I've gotten to talk to about the game. Ezra, Tom, and Kyle snagged their birdies. And actually, Nico, after a great stepper, that's a
Yep.
star frame, folks.
Yes, it is.
Out to the open, 640-foot par 4 straight ahead.
Tom taking an aggressive line. Heiser release at the OB and letting it turn.
That's an awesome shot from Tom.
That is beautiful.
Not even challenging the OB. Oh,
We had some weird wind on this hole. So we were getting this headwind, but the players really couldn't feel it. So it
Yes.
was very hard to trust that it was there.
and that looked like
That was a nuke.
Okay.
And his plan was just rip it over into the trees
really
and just
scramble
throw
from
it
there.
super far and just let it go into the trees.
That's pretty far.
Not bad.
Nico, I'm assuming, is going to do the same. A little lower line.
A little bit of a late release, possibly. Looks like it got through. The distance on this hole really is not that big of an issue.
No.
So if you get a little bit of a shorter drive off the tee, it is still a very birdieable hole.
Exactly. It's just managing the landing of this shot with the gravel and the short dirt that we have, or the hard dirt.
Definitely.
Nico, look at a slide one up there.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, that is a solid shot.
And Ezra had a tricky gap on this one. Ended up going with a really wide turnover, but executed it perfectly.
This is a shot that Tom actually, after the round, came to me and talked to me about because he said it was just such a sweet shot to watch. Slow panning Anheuser. There's that ground play.
Beautiful. Is that a zone?
That is a zone.
Ooh.
He's been all over the basket on this
Yeah.
distance.
Yeah, his putt looks great. It's just that last little bit.
Yep.
Again, confident stroke.
And he is continuing to push. And when you're playing this well, birdieing as many holes as Ezra has this round, it starts to feel like bowling. I've talked to a lot of bowlers that say when they get, 7 strikes in a row to start the game, they start to realize where they're at and how close they are to finishing it out perfect. And definitely hoping that Ezra doesn't wake up.
Yeah,
so
it's-
to speak.
It's a different kind of pressure,
Yes.
for sure. It's a very focused pressure.
Yeah, no one else is in your lane. You
Yep.
are just plugging away, trying to not really notice yourself and step out of your
Yep.
body, I guess. But after we saw some birdies there, I think another star frame.
Yep.
And moving into another open par 4 with OB all on the left and right sides. And there is that crosswind, and Thomas smoked this.
This was another weird one because on the tee, none of them could feel any wind. We could not feel any wind right by the tee. But there was clearly wind out on the fairway. And you see this one just drop.
Wow.
Yeah.
That almost felt like a pure tailwind.
Yeah, it was wild.
Nico trying to follow suit. And yeah, Nico getting
Same
slammed
thing.
down too. Tom kind of got helped by that wind.
Yep.
And then these players are getting kind of shoved down. What's funny, though, is these players throw so fast that it looks like they're not going anywhere, but they are getting way out there.
Yeah.
That's got to go.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit short. This is an approach that's really hard to gauge the distance.
And especially with those rocks in the front, too, you can't slide one up.
Yep. That path looks like it should be like edge of circle. It gives it kind of this false front.
Nico trying to softly land one in there.
Right through the rocks,
Oh,
right
yeah.
up to the basket.
Great shot. It's just that same P2.
Yep. This is his straightest one. Ooh. And we both thought that was going in the basket.
And that actually might have saved him. He might have dropped over the edge there.
Definitely.
And was that a ringer from Tom?
Yep. That was his ringer. Do you know if is that the
Z Flex plastic?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the only
Okay.
premium plastic ringer GT comes in.
Okay, gotcha.
That's an awesome putt from Kyle. Finally, one of those long 45-footers goes in, and that must feel good. Look how flat that putt comes out.
Great putt. Yeah. Perfect spin, no off-axis torque.
This is a kid that put 3-hour days in when he first started catching the bug for disc golf, so his putt has come a long way.
Yeah.
Another birdie from Ezra. Nico's going to tap in his as well. Card's starting to catch a little heat. That's 3 star frames in a row.
Yep. Back into the woods for what's going to be hole 15. This is a little bit of a trickier hole.
Yeah.
Probably the tightest gap we have on the whole course,
Yes.
I'd say.
And like you said, you can't just throw your straight disc through the gap. You have to get a skip at the end, so you're hitting the gap with overstable.
Or like Tom, you take the right gap that is not there.
And and you close your eyes and you cross both of your fingers.
Yep.
And he's gotten out there. He'll get up and down for a 2 or for a 3. Hopefully not a 2. That's a little risky.
This is the ape again from Ezra.
That's such a great line. That's going to get down, though.
Massive skip.
And is that safe?
That was safe.
There is a little bit of a dry spot back there, but the creek was rushing pretty quick. So that's a little fortunate lie.
And this is a Lucid X Sheriff, actually. The Paige Bierkes signature series.
And is that like a straight 12-speed?
It generally is, but in that plastic, it's actually pretty overstable.
So he's still able to throw the flex shots with it.
Yep.
There's Kyle going. Looks like a little bit more understable of a disc and gets an unfortunate kick right.
Yep, that was that instinct again.
Yeah, one of the coolest things about Kyle's game is he has all of the speed and power to throw whatever stability disc he wants, but he reaches for the straight to understable disc a lot of the time. And it's
Definitely.
such a smooth technical throw. Tom gets up there. He'll have a nice easy putt for par. And here's Nico from that distance he's been feeling lately.
Death putt. Oh,
And that hopefully sat in bounds.
that one unfortunately did go OB. Or, no, that one actually stayed safe, but just barely right around the backside of
I
this
see.
tree.
And a rare miss from Ezra this round. Oh, no. That's going to sit down. So that is a PDGA rule you are allowed to take. The moment you stop your disc from going out of bounds, you can call it OB.
Yep.
And mark where it was going to go out. So, oh no. And the putting woes continue for Nico, and I commend him for keeping himself together in front of the crowd. I know how passionate he does get when he's not making putts.
Definitely.
And Ezra taps in the par. This is one of the harder birdies to get on the course.
Mm-hmm.
So not too shabby to take some pars out here. And unfortunately, Nico is going to be tapping in what I believe is a double bogey. And he is not happy about that. Ezra maintains a 4-stroke lead over Tom. They have 3 holes left in the course, so we'll see.
It's getting exciting.
It is getting exciting, and we still have some holes with some scoring spread here. This one's just a giant power hyzer, and that is smoked.
And this one got lifted a lot.
So what wind are they seeing out here?
They're having a right to left wind. This is an FD3 from Ezra.
Trying to make a little bit of a correction. That's a great correction
Yep.
there. A little bit lower, let the crosswind kind of help it and lift it naturally.
PD2 from Kyle.
And look how
And that
slow his run-up
it's,
is.
It's great. He just hits his hit point and commits to the disc.
And that looks smooth as... Get in!
Oh, just barely long. We thought it was in the whole way.
Tom from about 35. That's a ringer.
Yes, it is. Oh! Beautiful putt. That he had a ripping headwind. He got a gust right when this putt came, and
Takes his approach putter to putt into the headwind, and he's stoked about that.
Huge putt.
Great putt from Tom. And similar to what he did first round on this hole,
Yep.
he's about 30 feet from the basket still, and he's opting for another spin putt.
Unfortunate there. Ezra picking up yet another birdie, which I feel like we've said on every hole.
Just looks like he's able to make decisions and execute the decisions pretty perfectly. So I really mature wind read there after Tom's shot. And Kyle gets to take another birdie. And another unfortunate bogey from Nico. And moving into hole number 17, this is another hole that I think is so new in tournament play for especially these touring players. Don't quite know what to do with this hole.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of these players are just going to be going that wide right gap. There is a more direct gap left.
And this shot actually went more to the right. Got some flip on it.
And it actually went out of bounds. Is that correct?
Yes, it did.
So the OB is actually pretty wide right. And that one...
That's a boss from Ezra.
That's a
It
huge
is
drive.
mashed.
That looked well over 500 feet. So they're all opting to go for this right gap and then throw a spike hyzer on their second over the tree line. And Kyle throws a bomb as well.
Yeah, looks great. Nico looking for a big shot. A lot of flip.
Oh.
But it is starting to come back. And that one was safe.
It's going to leave him a little bit of a distance. Tom is way out there after going out of bounds. And it looks a little bit left.
Just a little too inside. Gonna have some obstructed putt for this for his fourth. Very overstable disc from Nico.
That looks a little bit better.
That looks great. Tombstone right by the basket.
Kyle goes big hyzer as well.
That's a tricky shot from where he was pinched off. It's almost more of a stall than it is a
Exactly.
hyzer. This is a A1.
That doesn't look like it flies at all.
Nope.
He's about 30 from the basket. Let's see if he can make some more magic happen.
Oh,
Close.
that's a great bid from there.
Kyle from circle 2. So close.
Barely off again, hitting metal from that same distance. And Ezra, just another stepper. He has been on fire today.
This has been absolute treat to watch.
Yeah, he's really just been playing perfect.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's been very quiet almost for how well he's playing.
Yeah, he's made a lot of just outside circle 1 steppers.
Yep.
Thrown a lot of really textbook approaches, thrown the hyzer shots that he's needed to throw.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very challenging to do when you have tons of good players on your card and you have to stay in the lane and not worry about what they're doing.
Yep.
And the field that we're playing in was stacked. It was one of the most stacked B tiers I've ever seen.
Yep.
So after hole 17,
He has a 6-stroke lead going into hole 18. 18 is just a pretty easy hyzer hole with kind of a tricky green to access, but we should have a couple 2 looks. Great shot there from
he just
Ezra.
had the hyzer angle completely dialed.
Yep.
And this is a fun finishing hole to watch, especially as a spectator. You could see some hyzer bombs fall into the tree line. Lots of potential ace runs as well.
Definitely, yeah. At this point, we had a huge gallery behind us, and it was really exciting to see all the spectators.
Kyle
come out.
going inside flex. I like that. Little long,
Great shot, though.
but
Just
ended up
outside
hitting.
the circle, probably.
Yeah, not too bad. Here's Tom. I believe with his Dan Schlitter force. And that looks decent.
Dropping a little bit. Oh, unfortunately catches.
It's almost like you want to play a low hyzer that skips off the road if you want to be really selfish with the shot.
Yeah, definitely.
Tom from about 55.
Oh. Nico from a similar distance.
There he
That
is.
was a great putt. It was really good to see him finish with a strong putt like that after some putting woes.
And what's crazy is Nico won a major in 2009.
Yep.
He was one of the best putters in the world. So for all of you looking at him, really hanging his head after some of these putts, it's because the world used to come to watch him every week.
Yep.
Tom missing an unfortunate putt, has to take a 4.
Kyle with a great putt, birdie to finish.
Great showing from Kyle. It's always good to see him on the camera cards. He's one of my favorite throwers to watch.
Ezra for
Oh my
15
gosh.
under. 15 under on a round. 1092 rated. Clearing the
That's-
whole field by 8 strokes.
That's something special, folks. If you are watching this round, you don't just shoot a 1092 rated round as a fluke.
No.
Ezra is here to stay, and we will see how he does. Great win from Ezra. Tom is in, I believe, second place with a 14 under par. Nico and Kyle at 11. And Ezra raising the horns.
Great round. Is really fun to caddy for him, and happy for him. This is probably the biggest win of his career.
In full Viking manner. Awesome win.